Well, that's what I got now. And boot device not found. Please install an operating system on your hard disk. Hard disk. F2 system diagnostics. For more information, please visit. That's what happened when I pulled the plug on it because it froze. And well, I don't know where that comes from. I mean, a hacker probably. And I've got one in my corner, and it wasn't from him. So, and I don't know where he lives, and I don't know what his name is anymore. So, probably 10 different names. And we don't know where it came from. So, I don't know if it was from government or not. But if it was government, I'd probably be behind bars. So, somewhere it's from organized crime. Where? I don't know. Who knows? Probably from iffy. I mean, that's probably something he did, but you know, he probably doesn't know about this stream. So, nice try, iffy. And well, I'm gonna have to have some serious discussions about his life because he's got borrowed power with him. Anyway, he looks at it, and he's maybe scared for the first time in his life. That's the fish, the cats. He's got a shark in his family, and that doesn't keep him safe forever because he probably just wants him to stop playing organized crime. And if he is an organized criminal, where's my piece? And the fame up isn't gonna work. And any way you look at it, we're still the largest landowners in the world because I don't have any, and I didn't give anyone permission to use my name for anything. And Chris Gregoire is also a fish, and there's always a bigger fish. And I'm like a shark. There's two computers, and Key's pissed off. And good for him. But like when he went to the holidays the first time when he forced my mother to give up a pregnant cat. It's got her thinking differently, and that was from Bacon in California. And Bacon in California knows one thing: he's mad as maker with me. He's like, just because I'm a Canadian doesn't mean I'm not smarter than you. And he's got his own past, and that came from Ralph Barger. Ralph passed away in June, he passed away in June 2022, or he passed away in September, because I got two different dates. And there's been a kind of a, I gotta wait till the computer charges. Because, the smartphone era happened. And are they sort of smart, or are they very smart? Well, I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just saying. Some people got this real time, and some people got it delayed. And that's not right for that computer to do that. And how's it open? I haven't opened it yet. I guess I could use this. Is the voice recognized or what? It's been opened before, I know that. But I don't know how to open the fucking thing. Who does? Somebody might. That was a hack, I know that. So I'm under cyber attack. And I'm still online. And it's my decision if I want to use methamphetamines. And hey, maybe it makes me a little smarter. Maybe I'm making a push. Maybe I just gotta air a bag out. Maybe it could be just life on the line if it was wrong. And you see the Italian come out of me sometimes, and it's yellow. And I'm not a Roman. The Catholic Church dropped the Roman. And I'm like a Roman, protecting their interests. Because I don't think anybody in Italy means me any harm. I really don't. And I mean that. And he hasn't reinforced, or anybody hasn't reinforced this man named named Iffy, and somebody else has ties over there too, and he's never done me a thing wrong. And Barry Drive is where Christopher Gregoire was popped, and his DNA is not on file. Thank Christ for my mother, because my DNA is on file. And if it ever came down to a genetics test, he's Chris G and I'm Cody Hayden. I have been to Hillside, and I have been to One South 3 or 4 times, and I've been to Colony Farms once. So I took the long ride down to federal prison. Well, it wasn't federal prison, but Matt Squeeze Fed. And the lifers in there remember me. I never went. I drove by with Eric Koonin. And Eric Koonin is a good man. And maybe he has dumped that broad. That's no good. And maybe Simba's just hungry. He wants out. We're going to run down and get some. I keep him busy once in a while too. Maybe my cat hasn't been returned. And maybe that's up to Iffy. Because Iffy could just order that cat back. And look what he's brought on from just being a stubborn man. And that's on Iffy. That's not on anybody else. Because that's on Iffy. Because Sunil, Adam, and Steve, they're holding the line for Iffy. And Iffy doesn't want a fucking gang war with me. He's in a biker gang. Or the Nomads aren't a biker gang. But Ralph Barger created it. And when I seen a picture, that's the date that was on there. It was September. Why did I say September? Somebody wanted me to see that picture. This had to be dead and gone by now. And Chris G hasn't lived up to his mandate yet because he's looking for actual leadership. And he only met somebody once. And that's how Buddy must do business. And he doesn't know who I know, and I don't know anybody. And I don't sit down with anybody. And I've never had one secret meeting in my life because I've always had my cell phone in my pocket. So I never had any secret meetings, and none. And I wouldn't sit down with anybody other than in a parkade, brand new built. When I watched it get built by camera, and the walls were thick, and I wouldn't sit down anyways without that. I know the building myself because who knows who's listening nowadays. That's why I put it all online. And I'm smart. I'm real smart, and I know things that I don't tell people. And I'm simply put, see, some people hear me better when I'm closer to this. And some people hear me better when I'm closer to that. And some people hear me better when I'm closer to this and that. And I know one thing. Some men don't know how to pick a flock, and other men do. And Chris G, you're in shit. And if the buck's gotta fall somewhere, Chris, you better know how to withhold interrogation. Because I'm sure it was him up there. I can't know that for sure. And he doesn't have any information on anybody back east. And they're just trying to protect Chris G because they don't want him to go to jail. And Ron did just have something on me. And there was 10 big ones on him. And what's the big one? Well, who knows? Because this is not fake. It's just because what wasn't washed properly. And somebody gave me something that wasn't done washed. Or poison. What's it smell like? I can't put it online, but people can hear me real time because the safe's open now. And Tracy's happy for me, but she knows the power of Pat Haynes. And Pat Haynes wouldn't do a damn thing to her because she's in on his psyche and his emotion. And Pat Haynes always wished that he met me, but he didn't meet me. And I got the other side now. I don't actually have to sell this, but I'll air it out. What side? It's like Tide. Doesn't smell as bad now, but it looks that. But what did they put it in? Did they wash it, or are they trying to poison me? Sometimes I look like an Italian, and that's just the Roman coming out of me. So I protect the Catholic Church as best as I can, and other men believe in God too. And I'm a powerful son of a bitch to be, but I'm not God, and that's for a fact. And depends on the phone, and depends on the spoon. The spoon could act as an antenna. And it depends on the bills, man. And there's always this one around here first. Because she knew me from preschool. Because I was in preschool. And Brett snapped to me recently because I was there for breakfast. And Brett, he's a different Brett. He may have found the podcast. I may be in on the spy room. Or that may be one of their favorites. Because Randy, Bo Bandy, that's just someone from a fucking TV show, you moron. Why you get so personal about it? It's obviously not you. And if you watch the show, Randy's not ever homosexual. He's just somebody Leahy helps out. Leahy was a cop, but he was a cop that got fired for drinking. And some men know how to play a game, and somebody know how to play the real game. And I'm beloved where I'm beloved, and I'm a fan of no one on YouTube except for the women. And some bills are interesting, and I keep one for reasons of, well, if you look at the back of a United States bill and the clever politicians, and hey, I ain't sitting this one out, and I'm not. And some men noticed and some men didn't. I know one thing about the aqueduct is, where are we going to get the fresh water from if there's no floating lake? And obviously I haven't been to Italy. And maybe the Romans left something. Maybe they did. Maybe there was a floating lake once. Maybe it came from the mountains. And I kept one because somebody gave it to me. And it was Ashley. She just had it laying around. And she was trying to be more like brother. Cam's the problem over there. He doesn't have a spy room. He might have found the other YouTube. But Beth Banner may have just come to an end. Unless I can just get my Google account back anytime. Because I hold Cody Hayden 36 at gmail.com. 3 times 6 is 18. That's the birthday of my old man. 8th month. What year? I don't know. But he's not the devil. He's actually pretty peaceful. And if it's a half dozen angels, well, I don't know. He never told it to me. So, and if he's just jealous, and he shouldn't be, he's got a good son down the fucking road. And he's got him wrapped up in propaganda. They just don't talk. Or he has him reporting to Derek and Kyle. And don't trust those two, Sean. They just want your reputation for your dads. Me and him have never had any problems. And that's okay. And Kyle always hated me because basically, where's my phone now? It should be in the car. And one sec, buddy. Simba. Because and hey, and I've been battling all fucking Simba, stop it, please. And I need to go get kitty litter and food for him. And sorry for yelling. And it's just frustrating, and I'm not having hissy fit like this morning. I gotta wait for the computer to. He just wants to be out because he's just being stubborn. And I'm not addicted to methamphetamine because I don't smoke a quarter ounce of it a day, which is only, retail. And I lowered the price of it down because I cut prices. Well, no, it was already cheap when I got to it. I didn't do anything with the meth, but the fentanyl, I hammered that price down to half. So settle down. And he's stubborn just like me because I raised him from when he was a kitten, and he doesn't purr. I don't cuddle, and he's a fighter, and it's Simba, and I raised him as king of the mountain lions, but that's a different thing. But somebody who's watching, who's the other guys aren't watching, and you don't have to give them the YouTube, because you may be in the ranks as far as a patch member. You might be. You're not a patch member. You're a full-fledged patch member. The other two are patch members because those two think they're government, and they think they're part of an overthrow plot. But Sean, you're not. You're smarter than that. Your old man's got control over you through your work. If it is, in fact, Hell's Angels, well, you have power because of your dad, but you have your own power because you're smart and you're well liked. And I've been in organized crime my whole life because I was born Guy's son. And Guy's here been belittled by your father. Simba! He's been belittled by your father, and big time. And he hasn't paid him for anything since the 80s. He was only keeping my dad around as a fall guy or as a guy that he can order to kill me. And neither's going to happen. I got better connections in things than your dad does even. And he's got not a low level connection, but he's got a connection back east, and a connection that's not reinforcing him from Italy. And that's his connections, and my connections are better because I've told the real story here online, and I do some things that are content creators. But it's getting serious for your father, and I'm serious when I say I do a better job protecting you, Morgan, and your mother than he's doing, because he basically doesn't go to town, and he just has a house down the road, and it's a brand new fucking house, and I don't even think you're in the will because you two don't get along, and he has a woman down the road, and it's true. I haven't seen it, but I went east out of the inn, South Thompson Inn, and a Simba, and I went east, and I just turned around. And I think where your place was. I don't even know, because I turned around. He was coming out of there, and he thought I was broken down, and he asked me if I was okay, and I didn't say anything to him, and now I know it's him, and I can see how he's hungry. I'll go get him some food and water. And well, my cats are hungry, And I have two. One was a stray. You don't care about that, I know. Well, Iffy doesn't care about that because he raised my dad to be a psychopathic killer, and he's not. My dad's a good man, and your old man's the head of the Nomads, and you might already know this, but this isn't a father-son competition because you don't get along with your father, and that's all right. And you don't have to be any reason to be mad at me. If you didn't then, you probably don't now. And it's not father and son competition. It's I bested him, Iffy, in strategy and tactical awareness of just like he doesn't need. He's got his own connections. He doesn't. He's not needed in jail, and he's no one's needed in jail. But he's been trying to ruin my dope business for 15 years. And the only thing that makes it better is when I go to the psych ward because they drug me every fucking time. They drug me, and it's not been crazy. This is sane, logical fucking speaking here. Logic beats most things. And the Freemasons know I'm logical. I'm not a Freemason. Those are older gentlemen. And Guy isn't hiding behind anybody. He's not wanting to kill me. If you gave him the order to kill me a while ago, and then Guy wanted Chris to kill me, and Guy tried to have me put in jail, and I have better ties to policing than he does, at least in this policing district. It's not a district, it's whatever they call it. And they didn't put me in jail because Guy tried to frame me up himself. And he knows that. And he might regret it. But I'm still here. And I'm making a push like the Hells Angels and the Nomads made a push in the 80s before I was born. And I don't need your favor or your help. I'm just saying don't trust Kyle and Derek because they're not fucking well in the head. Because they think they're BC Patch. They think they've already overthrown the government. And they haven't overthrown nothing. The government's still strong, very strong, and they're strong as far as they had a little IT problem, and that's all it is. And some men might not like that being fixed, but that's not my problem because they tried to belittle me. Certain men, only your dad, and a couple men like Bacon in California, and my dad. They tried to belittle me, but my dad's been framed up here. Your dad was pretending to be my dad on camera for closed sit downs for years, and they know now because of my astute ability to content create that your dad was lying about that, and he's wanted for some serious fucking sit downs in person and with real fucking organized criminals like your father is. And your father's a serious man, and he's got a team of fucking men that could go with him to these sit downs. He doesn't want to do it. They do it by video now, closed loop video, and they send probably people with information, however they do it, and that's not my business because I've never had one secret sit down in my life, and I'm like the genius from small bag dope dealing, and it's not about your dad, it's about you. Just be smart. And don't trust Kyle and Derek because they've been just lying to you the whole time about me. And Kyle hates me because I punched out Brendan. Oh, no, I didn't punch out Brendan. I punched out Kyle D and threw Brendan in the snow with Curtis there when I was in like grade 7, grade 8. And no, I never told anybody that. So he hates me. And then he got my dog killed because he was throwing rocks at him. Or Duke just broke the line because he wanted revenge on him for them jumping me. My wolf dog fucking chewed up Brendan, and that's in the closed case, and he got a settlement, Brendan. But Brendan poisoned me in 2015, and he did, and then Jason R. poisoned me again, and then Chrissy Hayden came up and poisoned me a third time. That's when I lost $50,000 to $60,000 cash, because Donnie from Surrey is the fucking Donnie Hee, and that's his new alias, and Jason R. from Salmon Arm is the fish, and just because maybe Donnie's a patch member. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. That's somebody that's not related to you. Or is he? Probably not. So, and that's somebody Iffy raised up from a kid to be a key guy. And he's not a key guy. He's just an idiot because he's been sleeping with Chrissy Hayden for decades. And they're almost in their 40s. And watch out for the 40-something-year-olds because she has a secret connection to where I get my medicine because I'm still on heavy mood stabilizer. It's just a mood stabilizer because this is logical. And if I choose to do some extracurricular, I'm logical, man. I'm smart. You're smart. We got long ones. There's no reason for us to hate each other. Don't trust Kyle and Derek. They're only in your life to gain influence because your father wouldn't dare hurt you. But if you two aren't getting along, that's not my problem. and me and my dad actually get along pretty well. We had one argument, and your dad's been trying to drive a stake between me and my mother for years in different ways. And Chrissy Hayden's going right along with it because she doesn't want to be killed or jailed. And they're all scared of being killed and jailed. And if I could trade somebody, I'd trade a pumpkin for Chrissy's freedom. I'm serious. I would. Because she deserves, I can't really be too ruthless on here because it's on the internet, but I would trade a pumpkin for Chrissy's freedom. And Mark Schultz, he's a guy that's part of the Cam's gang. That's a puppet gang for probably your father or Pat Haynes, one of the two. Or Pat Haynes has nothing to do with that gang. And Discipline and Cody, we beat Cam handily. And I was on foot, and Cam was all fucking summer, and the Hells Angels never shot me. I was on foot and on pedal bike, and I used all my money up. And I used it all up. And Iffy can't fucking stand it because Chris was supposed to kill me. And Chris isn't going to kill me. He's looking for a leader. And I'm not his leader, but I speak logic to him. And you probably wouldn't want me dead either, Sean. And your father, he just dodged a bit of a... He dodged something. And I made sure your mother wouldn't be involved at all. And like, not even around, not on the property. Your mom's got no... She hasn't done anything wrong. And if he keeps another woman down the road at a bigger, nicer house, and it's a secret, and just so you know, and I don't think you're in the will, but I can't say for sure. You'd have to talk to him about it, and that's between you and your dad, because I know you didn't like your dad at one point. So, and I mean, maybe that's changed, but I'm not trying to get in the middle of your family. I'm not, because Morgan's read some of these books that I read, and I'm an astute organized crime historian. And I'm pretty good, but you can't get that at a university, and you can't get that in the Ivy Leagues. And I'm not trying to be anything like that. Because where's my phone now? I just had it. Because there's a cell phone era, Sean. And I know things about counter surveillance that you probably don't. Because I counter surveillance just for my own good. And well, this phone here was hacked because I downloaded a picture. And your phone could be, if you have an Android or an iPhone, it depends if somebody has access to it. And sometimes, well, I don't know if you're married or you're looking to be married, and you probably are because you have a child now. And I hope you're a happy dad, and I hope everything's going well for you, because some men know about the spy room and some men have one. And some men are caught and some men aren't. And it just depends how you want to play it, because your dad will never kill you, and he's been trying to kill me for 15 years. And there's something about you three being better buddies than me. Well, I know Kyle D wants me dead. I know Derek probably figures I've won. And I know you, I don't know how we haven't seen each other for a lot of years. So I'm a powerful ally to have, and a big time powerful ally. And the man that wants me dead in the doorknob, or Guy wants me in jail because he doesn't want to go to jail. And nobody wants to go to jail. And I wanted to go when I was 19. I could tell quite the story about that. But my dad has been a good dad, but it's your dad driving a wedge in between. And he's trying to do something here that, because Guy's not going to kill his son for no fucking reason. And if he just wants to kill me out of jealousy. And it's not that I know too much. It's not, I don't know anything about their operations. And if I want to have a drug habit, I will. I'm a responsible adult. And you see these muscles here? That's from laughing so much, because I've been on the YouTube, and my computer is just wiped. It doesn't mean I'm not on the YouTube. And I can get my YouTube account back, and I still have it. It's Cody Hayden 36. I know the password. So, and I don't want to show that I can go on there right now. So, and if he thinks that best banter isn't real, best banter is real, and lots of people have watched it all over the world. It makes me famous, and you guys aren't. So you can be jealous if you want, but I made it to the big leagues of organized crime, and I'm not even an organized criminal yet, technically. I just been fighting for so long. And Mob Radio 999, at Mob Radio 999, and well, it'd be too bloody famous. And I like creative freedom, so it's no big deal for me. I'm not a greedy man, and I believe in I'm pro-government. And I'm not pro-BC Patch. I'm pro-BC British Columbian Hells Angels. But there's a difference. There's a big difference. That's how you handle yourself and how you... And I'm not pro-nomads, but they're not all bad. And if he's just a different man telekinetically, if that even exists. And I don't believe in it. I think internet telekinetics doesn't exist at all. And I'm on a YouTube that only you know, because I gave you the YouTube, and not everybody's found it, Sean. And why have a spy room? Why do people have a spy room? Because you're in Vernon, and you belong to something called Mr. Bacon's chapter, and there's a lot that you don't know about the chapter because I've been fighting it from not within, from the outside, and you guys know that. And I found the fact that well, Ron Boucher and me don't have anything against each other now because you may have been listening the whole time in the spy room, and that's okay. But that's not a nomad spy room, and your father's protected, and he is, and well, he's probably not going to jail, and a nomad probably wouldn't pertain to this old English law that could be brought to fruition, and that would be shitty for all bikers in this province, even my dad, and he would be a biker, and I didn't know he was a nomad. But what happened on that bus, I would try to sound in one way before they got on there, and I acted another way when they got on there, and you guys heard that. You guys haven't even called, so you guys are all fucking BC patch, and that's okay, Sean. I don't mind. But just don't view my stuff online, all right? You're not welcome. And you just hang out with your dad all you want. You've changed, and maybe you get along well with your dad, maybe you don't. But I know how to handle situations diplomatically, and I'm a content creator who knows his way around organized crime history, and history in real time are different fucking things. And a lot of men in organized crime, like I left a book in front of my dad's tire once, and he drives a white truck too, and that must be the color truck your dad drives, and they like white because it signifies the cartel they're loyal to, or they're not loyal to a cartel. They buy right off the Colombians, and maybe they do. Maybe they want to avoid certain things, but certain things they've done in different countries. Maybe they have done certain things in different countries, and something about murder for hire that isn't fucking good. And certain managers just shake their head at your father, and he's gotten way too big for his britches, and he literally uses your mother as a human shield, because men want him deader than a doorknob, and it's not even me. And because of me, and because of me being straight up and confronting his fucking errors for him, because he's made some errors that are blunders, and certain men don't kill women and children. And in BC, the BC patch, one thing they do is hide behind women and children, and that's their fucking strategy. And men can get them in transit, but they don't leave home, certain men, and they only leave home in their white trucks, and that's one of the ways they camouflage. And well, you're looking at the man who bested the BC patch in a lot of fucking ways, and the BC full patch Hells Angels, they love me. So when you can figure that riddle out, go ahead. Because you guys are all brainwashed on fucking Hells Angels up here. Someone just wiped my fucking computer. And I don't really care because I got another one right here. And certain men know what I'm talking about. And they're in America. And certain men are just in Vernon. And I would never. Would you? I would never. I'd never hurt your family. And is your father your family, or is he your stepdad? Because you grew up a certain way, and you could have just hopped on your fishing boat and came and visited me when I was right across the road, but we just didn't think about it. And I was hanging out with Carson then, and I was the popular one in school, and I'm just have a haircut. And I don't know too much about the operations of BC Hells Angels because I ain't one, and I'm not a BC patch. I didn't found the BC patch, and Ralph Barger, he patched over the Satan's Angels and Satan's Choice, and they're back now on Gold Frenzy, and they're acting the same fucking way. It's just in regards to me, and I didn't patch them over. No one told me about Ralph Barger being passed away from cancer, and Ralph Barger, I knew he was a great leader, and he was, and I never claimed to be loyal to the Hells Angels. I talked shit about them just to make sure they knew I wasn't a patch licker, and they have no loyalties to Oakland up here, none. They have loyalties to your father and his connections. And well, they can't reinforce them, and nobody will kill me because I got connections of my own, and that's the bottom line. And I beat the BC patch. I beat the bark right off him. And your dad's being a sore loser, and he's trying to shut me down. And you guys are all playing into his hand because the Nomad, he just works for Bacon in California, and that's the president of the Kamloops chapter. And down there, all of them do in this province. And they just don't want any beef with him because he's got his own killers. And he knows if he sends them here, he won't make it. And so I bested him. And I'm Canadian. And if you go into Mob Radio 999, it's all fiction at its finest. So that's my own quote. And I made that up myself. And nobody thought of that. I thought of that. I got one called Mob Radio 23. And I'll write one for myself because I don't think I made an appearance. And they got rid of that right when I was going to put something on Best Bander. But obviously it's me because Chris Gregoire is Chris Gregoire. And you three alone ain't telling me that I'm not Cody Hayden. And I'm Cody Hayden, and I beat the BC patch. But the full-fledged Hells Angels probably think the world of me because some of them are getting a reality check. And you guys are only 35. Just because you have more things and you have something on your back doesn't mean you're better than me. And doesn't mean I'm better than you either. So I am the connection. And I don't need to say anything because I could just be a famous content creator, but I still have responsibilities. And I kind of am that. And I have responsibilities. And you guys just don't know how. Some men are happy, other men aren't. And the spy room has been made completely useless by me. And that's the spy room. Because you guys are all listening on my phone to try and learn how I do things. And you guys have been bested, whoever's got one. And Preston, better watch out in fucking California. Or not in California, he's been down there. Maybe he's been down there to visit Bacon. And he knew him personally. And Preston's got a spy room. And oh my God, Preston slept with Catherine McEwen. And oh my God, they're all hiding behind a woman's name. And Baldic thinks he's a boss of something. And he's a boss of nothing. He's just a guy that's pushed into the coke trade. And you guys think I can't get my Facebook stuff back? They just didn't want me to put my name on Best Banner. I have a new Facebook. And guess what? It's as good as the last one. I just don't have the same friends, but they still know how to check it because it's available to the public. And you guys don't know who the internet trafficking is. And it ain't me. Eminem won on YouTube, and he did. And I haven't gotten into rap yet, and he's a great rapper. And, well, you guys just hate me because you don't even know me anymore. I haven't changed one bit. I haven't. And you guys are putting pressure on people to not buy off me. And you guys are not cool for it. And maybe Sean hasn't. Maybe he believes that they have a way to win. And I protect you and your family better than your father does. Pascal, he's a fucking turncoat fucking Hayden. And there's only one Hayden. And that's Hayden family business. And that's my fucking business. And none of my cousins got shit. Except for Natasha. She's well. And she's done well. She's in Montreal. And she probably knows old people from Italy. And she probably does. And she maybe found this or didn't. And she doesn't have a spy room. So Tracy Whidden is my second cousin. And she's a woman. I don't know how she feels. And that's not my business because the spy room's been extincted. And you guys shouldn't spy on my phone because I downloaded one picture. And that hack came from Shanghai. And Shanghai. And Shiz 6 is my account. TikTok. And I have an account on TikTok. It's not my TikTok. It isn't. People can find it. It's on there. Iffy, you're caught spying on me. Big time. For 30 fucking years, you've been spying on me, man. Even when my old man had a brick phone and a fucking $1,000 bill, I knew you guys were in cahoots. When I went missing with my brothers when we made the gi. So, boo fucking hoo. Because I remember some things back then. We liked to goof around, and he was a teenager, and I was young, and I went missing. And I was in the laundry chute, and in the house on Heather Road, and I heard him talking because they were trying to find me. I heard him talking on his brick phone. I wanted to know who he was. That was my plan. He was back in the backyard of the shed, and we were missing because we hid ourselves. And Guy may have gotten Brett through poison with Chrissy, but he ain't getting me. So he can fucking sit and stew on his fucking actions, because this is a mob fucking household. And he don't like it, he can go fuck himself. That's the bottom line. It's not serious for me. It's not wartime for me at all. It's they've been spying on me for so fucking long. The American Hells Angels are in Kamloops. They're here. I came across a couple of them. We didn't talk. They're here because they're pissed off at the BC patch, and they're pissed off at the BC nomads. Not all of them, and they're here, and they're not here illegally either. They got here probably through Alberta, because maybe they couldn't get across the border with their colors on, but they're here, and they're here. They want to speak to Iffy. They'll speak to Guy too, and he doesn't get to hide. And he might be somebody could show up here when I'm not here, and hey, he'd have to answer the door because they are in fucking shit for the heat that has been brought down upon them for just me being myself. And I'm connected out the wazoo, and they understand my fucking story. And there's the BC patch, which are guys that think they're government, and there ain't fucking government. And the Hells Angels out of Oakland are sick and fucking tired of them pushing their weight around internationally when they come from a place of great bounty, and there's only 5 million people here, and that's like a tiny little piece of New York State, and a tiny little piece of California State, or a tiny little place of California State, and and they've been pushing around the wrong people, and the police are pissed off at others, but really they're pissed off at your old man and Sean, like really pissed off at him. Like you and Kyle and Derek aren't the ones that they're pissed off at as much as others, and they're pissed off at him for their own reasons. And I can't know those reasons because I'm not a policeman, but I can understand how he used his power wrong, and in his power to try and get rid of me for nothing, because I'm not even a goddamn organized criminal yet. I haven't done anything in practice. Like I don't have any rackets on the go. I beat him with strategy, plain and simple. And it's because of their fucking just garbage, their gunk, their fucking frame up of me, their attempted frame up of me with Chris G running around thinking he's Cody Hayden. That didn't apply to anybody in Vancouver because they know who I am. When I sat down there at T-bars, I said nothing. And I just said nothing because I didn't want to be a Hells Angel. And I'm not going to be a Hells Angel, and I'm not going to be a nomad. And if he can go find someone else to fucking con, and he conned me, and he's now the mark of a con. I long conned him, and he can deal with what he's got coming, if anything at all. And he just thinks he's so fucking smart over there. And they've watched me for hundreds of hours, and I was going to release all my videos, and they just wiped my fucking computer. Well, they're on my account, and it's in my name, and they just want Chris G to kill me, and he's not gonna kill me because it would mean his whole fucking family probably. I don't know what'll happen when they kill me, Chris, if they do, because that's the whole point. People will be upset, and you don't get to kill me, Chris. That's not a fucking notch in your belt. He knows this because he's hearing this on this fucking YouTube. And I don't know what'll happen. And I'm a very important person, a VIP in my own right. I got the power before I got the money, and that's a rare thing. And I know how to handle power, whereas a man like Iffy has butchered it because he tried to con me because he knew I would never be in his ranks. or in the Hells Angels ranks. And the man in California, he could be under investigation. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Maybe his connections have stopped talking to him. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. That's on him. That's his fucking problem. Because he's a fucking no good, woman beating motherfucker. No one's even told me that. I just guessed it. Because most of his family up here hasn't even met him. And maybe someone met him once when he was a kid. And he's been promised in the will. And that's the same thing with Montana. She was probably promised in his will. And neither of them are probably even in there. And he just uses that against his family to get him to do what he wants. And maybe they are in there. And that's not my fucking business, but my business is him trying to kill me secretly over the last 15 fucking years, trying to manipulate my family and have Pat Haynes try and sleep with my mother because Pat Haynes wouldn't fucking dare sleep with my mother because that's when my dad will lend me a real fucking rifle. And we'll see how fucking tough he is then when I find him. I got a nose for those motherfuckers. I bet you he's either in a house on a hill or a house on a cliff or a house in West Kelowna. And how do I know that? Because his cell phone's tracked. And how do I know that? Because he doesn't fucking watch it when he has women over. And my mother would never. And my mother's not there right now. She wouldn't be because she drugged me multiple fucking times. And I'll have her. Before she dies, she'll be in fucking prison for it. And before Crystal Ann dies, she'll be in prison. And she should be in fucking prison. And she's the fucking problem in the family because she knows a baking cousin. And they could both go into fucking prison. And me and Jamie would be better off for it. And I don't know him personally. So, and some people can hear me well when I speak up because it's either through the fucking camera right there or it's fucking in that fucking freezer. Because it's in the freezer because I like to keep it cold. And I'm reptilian in nature and I'm cold-blooded. Would you believe that too? Probably not. But I've been courted by certain people for a long time. And it's a secret thing. And it's secret. And iffy just wants me dead for it. He can't be. He's no longer alpha in organized crime because he was trying to be killing off the fucking population of cougars with fucking with Derek Erickson and fucking Ben Carr up the road. And I went over to Ben Carr's once and I said I buried a fortune in the hills. And that's probably what they're out there looking for. Because they ain't going to find it. It's Billy Miner's fortune, you fucking moron. And the fucking Ben Carr, he's a fucking piece of shit. I talked to him on the phone recently and he just sounded like he thought he was famous. And they don't have a fucking clue. I hit fame when I did the Solus Unactivated Products on Facebook. I hit famous. And all the fucking famous people know who I am. And they're celebrities. I'm not a celebrity. That's like I'm not to be an American celebrity. It's a clever name. That's on Twitch. That's a different platform. And if he didn't like to be yelled at like that, well, boo-hoo. He doesn't get to say. Because if there's ever an organized crime historian that made it big, it's me. And nobody whacks the Lord. Nobody. And they understand that out east. And somebody's got to sit down he probably has to go to. And that's not my business. That's his business to be worried. Because, well, that's not my business. And some strategies are great. And if he would have to have a sit down with himself because he's literally trying to be alpha in this land and the phone. And they're just keeping me out of small bag dope sales. And that's why I was so pissed off this morning. And I didn't do anything but the wall. And the wall seems fine. And this RV is basically mine. And Dad probably thinks it probably is too. Because if Mom's not coming home, then, well, she's not coming home. She can make a new life wherever the fuck she wants. But remember, Dad kills Hells Angels like he fucking eats cereal. So you guys might want to remember that. I don't know. I was never with him when he did it, but they all fear him for some reason. And if he should know, he's got a son down the road, and you can't talk to him, so you have Hells Angels order him what to do, or he's under the chain of command that he's right in with. He's right in with Bacon in California. He probably takes orders from him. And Bacon in California probably controls the whole swath of the chapters on the West Coast. And he probably does because he's a ruthless man because he's got more money. And they can't find a hitman to kill me because they all know I'm tied in somehow. And look at this. The kid's got his own family. And he's got nothing to do with Guy. and Jumbo called me the kid. And he did. And I protect my family well. And so does Guy. And he's just been giving out the password to that camera right there. And I just go like this. That's not for Dad. It's not for you, Dad. And he can hear me through there. and he hasn't found the YouTube accounts because he's not allowed to watch them. But nobody knows our internet abilities out here. And the kid can fucking contract out anything he wants, but it's secret contracts. Because when I talk, I'm talking internet, uh, no internet content creator, and I'm not a psychopath at all. I'm not, because it's found that most criminals nowadays who are a certain age don't have a criminal record because they're raised to be that way. And when I was young, Kelly Boucher, when she was a Boucher at the time, or she wasn't a Boucher yet. When she wasn't a Boucher yet. I don't know her last name. I should find out. I got to go over there and talk to her again because I was concerned about Chris, but now I see he's just trying to throw me under the bus because he's loyal to his cause. He's not loyal to me because he's just thinking of ways to kill me. But Chris, like I said, I protect your family better than you do because you've been listening to Clifford so long, and all the only fucking thing that he wants to do is have me killed or fucking date raped or murdered or anything like that. But they don't have the past from back east, and they don't. And it should be known that they don't. And in organized crime, that's everything on this continent. And he's done things elsewhere in secret that he's in shit for because they figured him out. And to sit down, he can't avoid because I know something and nobody else knows something, and I don't and I don't fear death because I am protected by men, but it's a secret thing, and I know how to be secret. And telekinetics just isn't the same because sometimes when I'm up all day, when I'm up and and it's just and certain men play them for fun, and certain men are know that I stand on my own 2 feet, and it should be a thing of pride, and for the men that know me from online content creation, because I've got an enemy. If I've got one enemy, it's Clifford Coughlin, and that's the man who's my enemy, and he is, and it should be known because it is known. And I got better allies than he has, and big time. And he's got men in his ranks, and I've got no men in my ranks. So I don't know what Ralph Barger was thinking when he created the Nomads, but probably shouldn't be mad when you make a decision on someone's life when you don't have the pass on it. And he's been doing it in secret. And well, he passed by 150 big ones, and he doesn't have money anymore. So now he wants to get back to business and just try and cut me out of the dope trade. See, this is the thing. I'm an organized crime historian, and traditional Italian American mafia never sold dope. And maybe in the heroin days, maybe there's a couple of them that did, and they got put in jail for it. Maybe they did, but that's a long time ago. And nobody knows who spies on the spy phone. That's why it's like that scene from Lord of the Rings when he covers up the crystal ball, because they're so powerful, and I've been the center of so much attention for so long. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because somebody just broke their fucking phone or their computer, and that was iffy. And he's been caught red-handed. And good to see him, or good to hear him. Or I don't see him or hear him. I don't care about him personally. I care about Sean and his family more than he does, because his precious assets, I care about them probably more than he does, because he's in shit, and he is in shit, and he doesn't know what to do about it. And I'm probably the only neutral fucking party there is to deal with such a thing as his reputation being tarnished. Well, I didn't mean to tarnish it, but he won't fucking let me have a small bag dope line. And he's got Bacon from California hunkering down on getting him killed, because he's a man that's not getting along with certain people probably, and I don't know who those people are, and that's not my business. And one thing, and I'm just making content, and I got and it's not a great picture, but it shows a man that's been at war with myself, and I'm a neutral party. I don't know anything about war because I'm not a soldier. And it's over. If gonna have to give up, because he just broke his computer, probably. I don't know what calls him. And the church, I mean, capital C, you can spell it with church with a capital C or a lowercase. I mean, church is for the community, and I've always said that when people want to listen to me. And well, I'm not hiding behind the church at all. And Then there's the Cardinals. And I knew they were powerful because the Cardinal Road when I went to Valley View Secondary. I seen the Cardinal Road. I knew the Cardinals were powerful. I didn't want to get on their bad side. And then there's King Charles. Well, he just became king, and I wouldn't want to be on his bad side. And well, I'm just me personally. I'm tired of people knowing that I was loyal to the Queen when she was alive, and I was loyal in my own way. And I went because when I drew that picture, I knew it got her attention. Some people can't believe that it did, but so the gossip traveled, and she found me through gossip, probably just and or the school board somehow, and she heard because she had people in high places spying for her, and that's monarchy, and monarchy have their own form of spies and people that send information up their up to their level, which is monarchy, and we're in the Commonwealth, and there's a king, and I don't think he sits on a throne all day, but he's a man that is probably pretty happy with his position, and I'm an astute study. I'm a person that studied the Commonwealth and the power and the War of Independence. I believe the war was won by one of his ancestors, and I don't know the name of the man, but it was probably a king, and there's probably a queen involved, and I think there's a queen elect, and I think he's the king, and I think I've seen that on TV somewhere. But I was in Vancouver at Queen Elizabeth Park on 2022 on the 8th of September, and I know somebody with a birth date that has that same date, and it's just a rare coincidence, or maybe she picked that birth date randomly because she's a woman that's been human trafficked, and she's been human trafficked in this very land, and I can't believe that and some other people can't believe that either because of who her dad is, and some people don't know, and some people know now who I'm talking about, and she just didn't know who dad was, but she wants to be in gangland and she wants to be involved with the gangs. Well, that's what she likes to do, and maybe she just didn't show me her ID, and but she showed me all sorts of different things that she told me her story, and well, she found the mob radio, and she well, Steve and Adam are part of her con, and she knows who wrote the mob radio, and so does Montana, and they're both women that were human trafficked, or they just don't have ID because they didn't want me to see it, and that means someone's into human trafficking, and that's Bacon in California, and he's right into human trafficking because he doesn't give a fuck what happens up here as long as he has his power from this part of the world, and he must have operations all over the world, and I mean, he's just probably a good leader in his own right, but he's made lots of people rich, but he's also made me broke more than once, and they're trying to cut me out of something I love to do, and that's being part of the drug trade, and it's not an easy thing once I'm a whale basically, and there's then well there's a but I'm still like a shark because there's whales and they have money, but I'm basically a whale without the money, and it's pretty true, and it's not quite true because I don't have the money yet. But there's a man that's been siphoning off everything I make because he's been spying on me through spy rooms, and he's gonna break his fucking smartphone or his computer right now, and he probably is, and that's Bacon in California because maybe he got a call, maybe he did, and he can't do both things at once, can he? And I laugh kind of like Jamie Edison because Jamie Edison's always been my kind of my protector as far as him just being a good man. But there's a time where he probably was trying to find me and he couldn't because he might have wanted to straighten me out, or maybe he just wanted to, I don't know why it doesn't come out of the this particular camera. I haven't figured that out yet. Probably a setting, and well. I like to say I'm mobbed up like to the gills, not like a fish, but like a shark. And some men maybe aren't mobbed up at all, and some men haven't met at all. And so I just remember a man from the news, and that's global news. And well, I know something about the stock market is that I don't know what an investment company knows about the stock market, but I bet you they're all wondering what I know about it. The markets aren't open yet. I know that, and some men need to get some sleep because they know both this one and Best Banner and. Best Banner may have ran its tour of duty because I made that in 2020, and I was just being myself then. And I know nobody's going to give me a bag of money. I know what I'm into, but I cut my teeth on selling dope, and Iffy's trying to cut me out of that. And that ain't happening, Iffy. You ain't cutting me out. And maybe he's on the phone right now doing damage control. Maybe that's something that corporations do. Maybe he owns Pornhub. Maybe Pat does too. And Pat Haynes is caught red-handed. You put one hand on my fucking mother, and me and Guy will come and kill you. And how about that, Pat? And maybe he gets his phone call from somebody he knows from Oakland, or he doesn't know anybody from Oakland. They don't keep in touch down there. And if he's sleeping around with my mother, then there's another man that probably understands how I want him dead, and be just a different man that I know from a book. And I'm not gonna say nothing because it's just well, the world's a small place sometimes, and my content has made it to the upper echelons of a certain thing called it's sacred to me, and I would never. And then it's just he's thinking he found the picture, and well, he didn't know about it maybe at first, and it's a good picture. It is, and that's in California though, and they ride together, and they don't do that in BC because they're not allowed to. But was that a rule that Hell's Angels tried to get enforced, and is that a rule BC Patch got enforced? Probably, or they had the idea, and maybe a politician brought it in, and maybe it's for a reason that they want it here, but. I seen Hell's Angels only in public once in my once in my life, twice in my life. One rode down a mountain near here, and this is a mountain. Camas is built on a mountain, and it's a tough place to live in the winter when you live up the hill. And I did my time going up and down the hill for small dope bag sales, and I'll do my time again. And if he's trying to cut me out of what I love to do, and that's just small bag dope sales, they're trying to make my life a misery. And my mom's a cheating fucking poisoner, and she is. And that's what she is. She's poisoned me. She poisoned me this last summer. And I'm not a rat. And I talked to her today on the phone, and she's trying to be mum. She's just an organized fucking criminal. Basically, she's tried killing me or making me go insane how many fucking times just because she was fucking abused as a child. And she told me one night when she was in pain for it, drunkard and fucking all hell. And this was probably right around 2011, 2012. She doesn't even remember telling me. She hasn't found this one. She hasn't found Best Banner either. She just, and Pat Haynes, you better fucking watch out, pal. I know exactly what you're doing. And you ain't keeping her from here. She's coming back home. It's not for fucking cooking. It's nothing like that. She loves my father, and you're just manipulating her with your money. And she better not be there, Pat, or else that number's going big. Go big or go home, Pat. And you ain't going to get away with it forever. So don't think you're using my mother as a human shield. She's part of a sacred bloodline. She doesn't even know it. I figured that out. I did. And I figured out the bloodline that my father belongs to. I did. And that doesn't mean I need any help from anybody in my family because I got them at arm's reach, and some of them are even spying on me. And the spy room's been made extinct, so some people are going to have to go get a fucking job again or keep your money and stay out of my fucking life because I don't want to be spied on anymore, domestically or foreignly, really. Foreign, I don't have a choice, but I don't care. And certain men have done it better than others, and I'm not worried about it. And I know things that I can guess at, but I'm not going to say anything. And I'm just one of the many that don't know. And I got 2 YouTubes, who knew? And as from smiling so much, I'm having a great time. And my old man is just probably worried I'm going to go in there and make my nose any more crooked than it is. That happened for me. Something I got myself. And there's certain propaganda that works and certain propaganda that doesn't work. And Valdek Sincevich's propaganda failed. And Valdek Sincevich is a fat Polak, and that's what he calls himself. He makes the joke about the fat Polacks having a fucking bomb in the muffler. And that might be a joke just for him to see if I laugh or not, and trying to schmooze me because he doesn't like Polish people. And I don't have any problem with him. I don't have any problems in Poland. And I know that's a rude thing to say about the Polish, but Valdek's the only one that doesn't get it because the joke's on him. And he's not Polish. Or if he is Polish, his dad was a big shot in the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union failed. And Valdek's pushing into the coke trade, and he's not wanted in the coke trade at all, and he isn't. So that's one thing probably me and Cam can agree on is he's not wanted in that trade at all. And he probably thinks that he owns Cam by now. And me and Cam have one thing in common. It's that we don't want Val in the fucking coke trade. And, well, I'll make a wish for Christmas because you never know. And he's not a guy that's above being hit. And nobody is in the organized crime world. And there's guys you can hit. I was trying when I was pulling it back and forth in the field in Padova. And Padova's known to be a insane asylum back in the day, and not anymore. The old man always had first choice on nice houses, and that was probably because Iffy wanted him to live there, because Iffy controls everything in the world, and if he thinks he's won here because he thinks that Guy is not smarter than him, and maybe Guy is smarter than you, and maybe he doesn't have to take orders from you anymore. Maybe he doesn't, and Dad's just pissed off, or maybe he's trying to play two different people against each other. But one thing that isn't going to happen is my mother's not leaving my dad for Pat Haynes, because Pat Haynes doesn't care about her whatsoever. And I know that, and there's a delay, and some people can hear this full time, and my mother doesn't have any idea about the spy rooms. Neither does my dad, and I have a fucking clue, and I'm not stupid, and I'm too sharkish or too whalish to hit, and, well, I'm just an animal call signer. I'm a person, and those are teeth. I didn't file them like that, and my animal call sign would be the saber-tooth tiger. That's just the way and I don't fuck around, and I'm a carnivore most days, and he hasn't even offered me a plate of food, and he doesn't give a fuck. He thinks I'm just jailbait. He figures he's going to fucking jail for life, and you could go to jail for life, Guy, and you're not, like, you don't know who your ally is in this life, and it isn't Iffy. He's been trying to fucking sabotage your life for fucking 20 years, and you can take somebody else's side. And we had a little argument last night, and I'll pick my nose if I want. I don't live with a woman because I don't want to. And it's not a competition, man, because BC Patch, you guys are going to start dropping dead like flies. And it's going to be like that if you don't fucking fuck off and give me my fucking small bag dope line back, because I ain't asking. And other people won't be asking either. And wait till the real men show up, the real men that don't hide behind women. Because that's their strategy. They drive white trucks and hide behind their fucking wives. That's what they do. And I'm the only one man enough to sit out here. My dad ushered my mother out here because he thought I'd be killed by now. Guy, you could be fucking killed for your connection to Iffy. And you could be. I know you're listening through that fucking camera right there. And I'm on YouTube talking. That's a camera. And you gave the password out to Tracy. And Tracy gave it to Pat Haynes. And he got it twice. Because Pat Haynes could be fucking murdered for sleeping around with someone's common law wife. And if he is, he better know that's fucking, she wouldn't get anything. And he doesn't want her in his life. He's just doing it for a power play. And Pat is not sharing this because he's got a spy room somewhere in the house. And it's 12:30. She'd probably be drunk and passed out. And she didn't go to Kelowna to visit an enemy. Pat and you are friends. And Pat and Guy made up. And Pat and Guy don't give a fuck what happens to Sherry. And I'm the only one that cares about her is my mother. And she's poisoned me more time than fucking the plague hit fucking Europe. And, well, I can talk a lot. And Guy's probably been trying to hear through the window. Why don't we get some rap music going? I think I will. And the JBL might have a fucking mic in there too. Or maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows, I say. One thing I do know is I'm an amigo to many. And not a Mexicans around. There's only Mexicans. And we're in Canada. And the intercontinental United States of America has the power. And they do internationally. We don't want to fuck with the federal government of the United States. Nobody does. Nobody does, I say. They're powerful. And up here in Canada, the Canadian federal government's powerful too. And they're done fucking around with the fucking Hells Angels, but the Hells Angels aren't done fucking around with them. And they don't fuck around the Canadian government. They don't. And well, I don't fuck with the Canadian government. I never have. And they got all these spy rings built around me. And some men just, well, I haven't done a goddamn thing wrong my whole life really, because I never started one fight, and I didn't. And that's the truth. And well, no, I never started a fight because he was an older man, and Kyle D started that one, and it doesn't really matter right now because some men are my age and some other men are a different age, but it's not a competition here in BC because Guy could be going in for 30, and he could be. And it's not fucking, there's no statute of limitations in British Columbia. And the women doing the spying for him, that's domestic fucking spying. And you don't have a legal, Tracy could go in too. And she could. She's a domestic spy. And she doesn't want to hear that because she thinks I'm going to back her up. Because why would I? You wouldn't even answer me on Facebook. You thought I'd be dead or in jail by now. And I'm not. So, and G Unit. It's still G Unit. And you think Paul's not a Scholes. He's hiding behind his wife too. And his wife Tammy's got the power over him. Literally. Because she's a Scholes. And that's a rare fucking bloodline. And Tracy's a Canadian. She's a Canadian. And I still love her. But she has actually cared. And my mother's being a slut, is what she's being, just like her daughter. And if she isn't with Kelly, then she's being a slut. Because she still had an affair with Ron Boucher. And he just lived up the road. He roughed up my mother that night. Now don't worry, Ron. I already got my fucking due diligence done on you. And you didn't put something on my head yet again because you can't. It's not how it works. So just because you hate my fucking guts because I bested you because Chris Gregoire was trained by you doesn't mean he's not going to undergo an interrogation or he can't withstand it, or did he play his cards right? And he's just a nomad without no fucking father, because he's got a dad in Kelowna that would love to meet him as a fucking adult. I know where to push buttons because I'm a button pusher. I've been my whole life. I never started a fight though, and that wall is fine. And Dad's RV is not his anymore. I just repoed it. What the fuck's he gonna do? Call the mafia? And what's he gonna do? Call 911? And he can't. One more call to 911 and I'll ask for a favor from back east, Dad. And you won't like the repercussions because usually it's the father that kills the son. But what if the father tried framing him up twice? And he did. And I called him a rat on the phone the first time. And the second time I said nothing. And what's he going to call the cops for? He's spying on me through a microphone. He can't even understand what I'm saying. Or he's got this one. And Guy and Iffy have been bested by Hayden, Cody, and Hayden Family Business pertains to me and me alone. And the rest of them can deal with it. Because, well, Tracy's okay. She's nice. She's got friends in Edmonton. And Trina's awesome. And Jason's awesome. So, some have found this YouTube and others haven't. And that's a different father and different bloodline. Well, they're related, though, through great anti-Pat. And that's a code name. And only I would know that. So I am Cody Hayden. And I'm the real one. And Chris Gregoire's been playing telekinetically. And I don't do that stuff. Because the internet telekinetics doesn't work. And Guy's been caught red fucking handed. Hand in the cookie jar. And guess whose cookie jar it is? Queen Elizabeth II. Because I didn't have no problem with the Queen. And the women have all been tricked into spy rooms. And it's just domestic spying. Is all it is. And they're under order of what? Pat Haynes? Who the fuck is he? And he's just a man that's trying to split up this family. And this family being Guy and Cody, because we're still here on the property. And everybody knows where the White House to the north is. And, well, it's just a nickname. It's not actually the White House. It's a white mobile. But it's kind of funny. Because I got a kick out of it. And I haven't done any crystal sphincter since I got here, and like crystal with a C, and some men must have heard something about someone having a porn addiction when he was like 10, 11, and 12, because I got over having sex with women a long time ago, and Chris G's probably a sex addict, and women have never had any power over me. They haven't. It's just Sherry Ann and Christiane have a problem poisoning me because they're tricked by men, and then neither one of them have held the patch on their back. Never. And some men have found this. And before I die, those two will both have a jail sentence because they deserve it. Sherry Hayden, maybe not, but I figured out the bloodline. They didn't. They're just biker fucking sluts. That's all they are. Well, at this point, she's not here, so, and she's been on holiday long enough that she's not at Kelly's. Where's she at? And I talked to her on the phone today. She thinks she's fucking 20. She's not 20. She's a drunk. She burdens us with her drunkenness all the fucking time. And she's not even well liked. And she isn't. She isn't. And she's watching this. She's drunker than skunk. We got some action. And maybe Dad called him heavy. What's his name? Because everyone thinks Calgary's on the and Dad ride it out again. So he likes to do that. He likes to do a lot. Organizational teams of that. And run on about. And depends what they say on the phone because their mental health fucking cover probably ain't gonna work. The health issues and Dad doesn't give a fuck about the neighbors. He doesn't even say hi to them. Doesn't give a fuck about nothing. No, he cares about his fucking having me thrown in jail at Phil. And He's just a Toby that's iffy. But if he knows one thing, he hasn't killed me yet. That he won't do. So if he's caught red-handed, and the Redback keeps knowing it because they found these. And the Hells Angels BC, they can they can uh, they can cheer and do all the things they want because they're not BC patch. And there's only certain men that are. And only certain men want me dead. And only certain men know of an old English law. And they better hope they don't bring it up because I don't know what happened when I get killed. If I do get killed, I don't think I will be. But the old man might have cleaned up in here a little bit. He might have left one with pipes because this one has the poison in it. Or was it just washed improperly? But someone just wiped my PC and I don't know how to open this fucking. I don't know how to open this. And I really don't. There's no button there. So if it beats me, I'll try and look on this one. And camera there. And I'm just fucking with them. Because he knows that I'm on YouTube and I'm streaming, hopefully. Because maybe he knows the stream. But I guarantee one thing, they're not tracking this house's internet traffic. Because maybe the big dogs do. And if the big dogs, the man, maybe they track it, maybe they don't. And maybe somebody tried something that wasn't going to work. Because maybe a lot of people wish I didn't do drugs, but maybe I'm tricking somebody and not anybody that's associated with the man. I worked with the cocaine forever. Because in my 20s, I didn't do it. I barely did cocaine. I was so fucking stubborn and studying, and I sold pot. And they left me alone in my 20s. They spied on me. They spied on me intensively, and somebody knows that. And after I stay up a little too long, I get a little bit imaginative, and a couple of men know that. And well, I'm a Canadian, and there's a good American and a good Mexican, and well, we represent kind of you know, I say the OC, but that's Orange County, and that's got nothing to do with any of us. And well, maybe the American, but and I'm just I'm a new I'm a newbie on the scene, and well, telekinetically, this these two men are awesome, and yeah, I'm not the problem, and I'm definitely not belong. I don't definitely don't belong to the BC Patch or the BC Hells Angels, and I'm not their fucking property, and I'm not. And I was born with D Daniel, and maybe I was, but he's been a regular because he's probably got a bipolar disorder, and he probably needs to be medicated for it. And some days he's good, some days he's bad, and maybe he's been doing something. Maybe he's been sharing a little bit of the nobody wishes he did, and me and the old man could twirl a bowl, and he'd be all right with it. And I just haven't shared with him. This is the same problem I was having with Larry Bauer, and Larry Bauer is a good man. He's just he likes his drink, and well, the old man don't mind Larry when he's and the old man just knows one thing: I'm having too much fun out here, and and I ain't the second coming of fucking death for any of these men. And there's a good Mexican and a good Canadian, and then there's a good American. And I just know a book, and I don't know where that book came from. I have a feeling it was from Ron. So maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But I know the book because I got a photograph of memory. And there's a woman at the celebration of life for my uncle Johnny, and she said something about a photograph of memory. And I got an excellent memory, and I can do all the drugs I want because it doesn't affect my memory. And if I'm making a push, I'm making a push for the man, so the man can still, enjoy being the man. And he's gonna always enjoy being the man because what happened in BC is just, well, people stole the water and it turned into money, and the money's here. And it reminds me of maybe something I figured out that was a fight after Prohibition. And maybe it was a fight for the money of the Prohibition because great grandpa Hayden was a legend in his own right. And he would have traveled from New Brunswick to Vancouver for a fresh start, probably. And they would have agreed upon that probably back then. And maybe there was no vendetta because if there was a vendetta, how did he live through it? And maybe I found a truce when there didn't need to be a truce because some men just learned of it because of YouTube. And who knows what happened between the Irish and the Sicilians? That's a long time ago. And I've never been to Sicily, but I once joked to my mother when I was at a place got Dan managed the place, and I can't remember Dan's last name, but he managed the place. Caldi lived upstairs. And he didn't know who owned the building, and Dan might have let me know that in confidence. And I had a place across the valley, and it was Brian's house, and maybe that was the first one he bought. Maybe it was, and maybe that was his, you know, his his house, and maybe it was his and his wife's because they're married, and maybe they still are. Maybe they aren't. I don't know. She was very kind to me, and he didn't like me much because I gave a month's notice, and that was me. No, that was me just wanting to move out because I didn't want to have any females in my life because I was studying, and I'm 35, and Tracy and Chrissy and Sherry do not represent the women that get to pick and choose who I fall in love with, and they don't because they spied on me. And Sheena doesn't get involved at all because she's involved in a different social circle. And I still love Sheena, and she threw a snowball at me once, and well, she might have found this, and I never got mad at her. I got mad at the male with her, and that's an old friend, probably just a friend, and that's from Kamloops. And well, I lived in Grandview, and I rented that house with my own fucking money. No matter how you shape it up, I earned it. It was mine. And I have my own story, and I'm allowed to say whenever I remember when. And she was never at the house, and I would never threaten Sheena at all. I'm just saying for the BC Hells Angels, well, which ones are BC Patch and which ones aren't? Because these BC Hells Angels, they tend to have my back on this when I say I'm a Canadian and I'm organized crime trained, but not practiced because someone in California, he wouldn't allow me to he wouldn't allow me to have an organized crime career unless it was for the BC patch. And I'm not BC patch material at all because I don't want to be part of the BC patch. And those are men that think the government or were working on an overthrow plot or still are working on an overthrow plot. And some men, a good a good American and a good Mexican aren't trying to overthrow the government at all. One thing we have in common, we like money, and I'm the last one to the bandwagon because I like. Oh, maybe 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 they like money. Maybe I just into the power more than I like to be, because I got friends in high places or people that listen to me talk, and well, I do a little bit of drugs and I'll just mute it, and and it's not like those girls on Twitch where I just mute them, and I can't just mute them because they work very hard, and they're imaginary. Some didn't find this one, and some know of my one account, and I think I know the password, and I can just get the accounts back. I just forget to breathe when I do. I do math in my mind, and well, I'm near the community, and well, two men sitting in a room. Two men are separate because they don't get to play no games. And one man pretended to be the other man, and he pretended on video camera recordings just for organized criminals, and he pretended to be Guy, and his name's Clifford Coughlin. And Chris Gregoire pretended to be Cody, and Chris Gregoire isn't on file genetically, and neither is Guy, and Cody Hayden is. I'll straighten my mother up, so what? Oh, and I didn't straighten out. It was like an exorcism, basically. The girl stopped fucking with me when she's drunk. The only thing that happened is I grabbed her in the top of the head and I just shook her a little bit when she was in bed because I was so mad at her. I never hit her though. And she was, I know I shouldn't have done that, but I did a year. I was exiled from town. And this is my mother who, she wouldn't have, when I was online doing the 5-star general stuff, I was just fucking around having fun. And that's what I'm doing now. But back then it seems bad, but I did a year. It wasn't an assault really, because I didn't really hit her or nothing, but I didn't leave any marks around her because Ron came down here and straightened her out. And it's known now, and he got to live with it. He can't put a hit on my head. That's the truth. And that's baby boomer backyards, their own backyard. That was them. Because Crystal Ann let something slip when I was sent down there. I didn't see my parents for several months. Other than I got to Monte Carlo after a month or two, I didn't see my mom. It was a court order. I didn't like literally see her. I never slept with the woman. Jesus, she's my mother. She's on Instagram 22. And that's Brett and Chrissy in that picture. Chrissy drugged Brett. I just didn't take a phone call. I wasn't really the nail in the coffin, but kind of. But telekinetically, I don't play because internet telekinetics doesn't work. And people know who I am. Um, certain people are just sitting around waiting for me to die. And the cats are fed, but they're just pets. And the old man doesn't mind Simba, but he just doesn't know this new one. His name's Vernon. They were outside with each other, but him and Vernon get territorial. I only got one carrying cage. The other one I left at Sunil's. He didn't show the cops the whole video. I went there with 2 carrying cages. He's got the other one. He still thinks he's, he just thinks he's king shit because, well, I'm more powerful than his uncle is. Not the one in policing, because he's a policeman. And I value police more than most people do. And he probably loves his brother, but his brother's a policeman, and he's an international uh, you know crime figure, and he's a powerful man in his own right. But you can't get past the men in India. They know how to organize crime over there, and I said that once joking. Reminds me when I said something I said to Shaquille. He's a East Indian man. I think he was from Vancouver, I think. I don't know, but I said something about cricket, a joke, and I was just making a joke, and I didn't try and insult him because I have a relative who's East Indian. He didn't he didn't do anything but marry in, and um, Kyle DeJong still a man. DeJong, he's still a man who wants me dead, and he still has a powerful family. Um, hmm. And well, Some people have a spy room, other people don't. I'm on delay. How long is the delay? I can't remember this one. I might be 2 minutes ahead. I might be 2 minutes behind. Because they're caught. Chris and Iffy are caught. Christopher Gregoire and Clifford Coughlin are caught. And Sean Coughlin doesn't know anything about it. Different con. Cliff and Chris are trying to con Cody and Guy. He maybe hears on this, maybe he hears on that. Maybe he hears on both. He's got 2 ears. And he's got 2 eyes, 2 nose holes, 1 mouth, and 1 pee hole and a butthole. And Chris is the only one out of the 3 that knows that that's used for pleasure. And I never been with a man in my life. And Chris G's the fag. And out of the 3, and I'm fucking famous as a son of a bitch. And I ain't even gonna go down for Christopher or Clifford Ifford. I call him Ifford because I'm the fucking guy fighting for freedom. Because if I could tell you everything I knew in my head, well, I'm not a politician. It says that on X.com. Cody Hayden at Cody Hayden 792. This you can tell. It says that I'm not a politician. And this wolf thing here, well, it's kind of funny, but I'm not a Martian either. So, I mean, so after that, I'm hard to kill. I'm pretty much. I mean, how else would I be so smart? Unless I'm the most famous man on earth. Depends on real time. I shouldn't be. I should be Dwayne Johnson. He's the most highest paid actor, and he's probably on a delay. And because he's watching on the YouTube if he is. Maybe he isn't. Maybe he is. I don't know what Dwayne does. It's not my business. Why would I make it my business? Because we're on a delay. Because I'm looked at a few different ways. And because of a couple cons, well, it's pretty funny because some men have access to a spy room and some men don't. And the spy room that I'm talking about is the one founded around Cody Hayden, the one with this voice. And when you break down voices and how smart people are, well, the con gets pretty fucking smart, pretty fucking quick. And my con is a lot better off in the hands of anybody of any kind of power than Chris and Clifford's con. because because my old man is here and he's alive, and he probably just left. The cat probably got out on him, and he didn't want him to. But I haven't seen him yet because I don't. I could go in, but I haven't even asked him for the code because this is Sweet B, and if Mom doesn't come home, well, she's shit out of luck because she's with a less powerful fucking person in her life. Because she probably thinks I'm with Pat Haynes, and I'm not with Pat Haynes. I've never met him, and Christopher Gregoire maybe knows what that poop hole is for now, but well, that's his fault because Pat Haynes is more than a bull queer because maybe him and Chris hit it off real good, and maybe they did, and maybe Pat Haynes is a bisexual, and maybe he is because he's still a bull queer, and I've never raped anybody, but my cat was abducted, and there was a rape plan there. Because if I would have went in the tunnel and I didn't, I waited there for someone to kidnap me, and that wasn't part of the plan. So I shouldn't have brought my cat over there. I shouldn't have. But I want Cleo back, and I'm not kidding because Sanyel has met his maker, and he's never even seen this fucking YouTube account. They don't know about this one, and well, I'm pretty vicious in a fucking street fight. Nobody's fought me yet, and Eskit there, he he ran me up Indian land, but I'll give him that. But he's only there because of Pat Haynes' puppet, and he's not welcome to be there. I know it in my heart, and I haven't found Gerald Granger yet because I don't sure Gerald Granger will shoot me or love me. 'Cause I know he had a long range shot from the front of 2255 when his RV was facing the same way. And maybe that's the house they wanted to put me into because they were gonna shoot me long range and they just want me dead. And Gerald Granger knows I know it, and he hasn't reached out to me. I got a piece of his mail here. I know who Gerald Granger is, and my old man don't like him anymore because he was just here to fucking kill me. And I started Best Banter, and he was sitting in the house. He was sitting in the RV next door, and he just thought I was going crazy. He didn't know I was on the YouTube. I got them good. I got them good. I got them as far as they fucked up. And Clifford Coughlin's shocked right now. And Sean's been my buddy since. And they just gotta. I'm famous, and the ways of fame is real. And some people don't know who's found my YouTube, and I can imagine who, but it doesn't mean he has because it's secret. It's a secret famous, and I like it that way. I'm not trying to make any moves into Hollywood for anything. And the women down there are probably, they know the real Cody Hayden from some fucking guy that's not even on the internet. They erased his picture. And because Chris Gregoire exists and he just doesn't have a record, but he has a youth record. And but that's sealed. So it says he doesn't have a record. He was still busted for maybe a break it, maybe not. Pretty sure. That's because his dumbass went over a fence and he said something when he was going over the fence, like, "Hey, wait up." So the neighbor there, I was there, I got caught for this one. And the neighbor was there, and I can talk remember when because I'm not the all roads lead down all investigations lead to Ifford and Christopher and not me. Anyway, Christopher, he jumped his fence and he waved. He said, "Hey, wait up!" And the neighbor seen. I think Chris was on way because he fucking got his caught. I knew that. And I just went down to Arby's. I went down to Arby's and had a meal with Ryan McKenzie. Ryan McKenzie and Chris were just dating, as Chris was just dating with Jason R. and, and and the fear of me, I guess, has made these guys all homosexual. Or Pat Haynes is just a bull queer more. Because doesn't matter how you shape it up. They're well, they're not in good shape. The certain men that were in higher standing because if I couldn't pick Pat Haynes out of a lineup of four from my life to save my life, and I mean that. I don't know what he looks like, so I don't have any help because I'm saying what's on my mind. I've been on the YouTube here. They crashed my computer. Someone did. I don't know who fucking did it, but I'm not as famous as the Pope because the Pope's the Pope, and he's a good Pope. And well, there's a good chance he's up and at her because he's an older gentleman, and well, they probably haven't found the YouTube stream. And Jude Law was the good Pope, and there's no such thing as a crooked Pope. And I think that was just a joke me and Fred had when we were stoned when we were younger, and it might have been because he probably passed on that joke to a couple of buddies. And if all law enforcement is looking for is a crooked Pope from Richmond, well, they found one, but I ain't the Pope, and that's an old alias, and that's one my brother set up for me because I don't think they're looking for a Pope because the crooked Pope don't smoke dope. And well, I've been on YouTube here for a while, and I haven't done any international crimes. And Brett's buddies aren't they aren't on the hot seat. He made certain friends, and I haven't met any of them. I met Evan in North Vancouver, and he's probably still selling pot out of his mother's basement, or he's moved on into a house. And I don't know if he's even here with us anymore. And there'd be a delay if he's watching. I don't know his last name for a holy ground. No, I don't want him buried. No. Well, I can't remember because I was stoned. But it feels like he might have left something to me, and that was well, street smart. He used to tell me stories, but only he told me certain stories, and I'm me. And Christopher Gray Watt can't recite anything from this. He's probably watching, or he's in the spy room. Yeah, he's there with Nathan. Nathan can't believe how stupid he is because he's part of Iffy's con. Iffy's conned him too. He's just hoping that Chris would be killed, or Chris would come out here and kill me, and it's not going to happen because I'm too important to kill. Because I'm smart, and Chris is not smart. Nathan knows it. Nathan's smarter than him, and one thing they have in common is they're both First Nation, and that's not too bad. I don't know. I don't know who Nathan actually is. And, well, I know, and he probably knows, or he doesn't. Well, he probably does know. Doesn't mean we're enemies, and I know because he's adopted, or he's up here on his. Well, I think he was adopted. No, I'm not sure. I heard his parents passed away. I'm sorry for the loss. I am. Me and you don't have any reason not to get along. Chris G is still a nomad. He still can't kill me. And Ifford has met his maker. So, well, no matter what, somebody did serve time for manslaughter and probably got out on time. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm not in jail, but you make connections in jail that Chris doesn't have because he's never been to jail. And if anybody's heating out Kamloops, it's Christopher and Clifford. Period. It is. Those two were caught in the act of a con. And I played a long con from when I took that yellow pill. Because that yellow pill put me in Hillside. And I look like a mental health idiot. But some men are in the spy room and some men have it delayed. And, well, these are muscles from laughing so fucking much. And it's been a great time. And, well, some men have it live and some people have it on delay. I don't know how far back I am. And I didn't mean to jump in because I jumped too. And I'm not Martian. And I'm not stupid. And I'm just smart. And Ifford has lost. Ifford, you have lost. Ifford, Control Alt Delete. Ifford, Control Alt Delete. Not the man's life. He's still powerful. He's still got men that protect him. But he's just not as smart as me, and he's got to get over it. Because I saw him in person driving out of his driveway there, and he's got all the money in the world. He has had it forever, and it's now just even amongst his own people. It's my turn to get rich, and it's Guy's turn to get rich. He doesn't want it. He's just a greedy fuck, and he wants us both dead. That's why he conned us in the first place. And Clifford and Guy just don't get along that well, and they never did. And maybe telekinetically they play different because Guy plays video games to keep him busy, and he just plays that because he's bored. And me and Guy are in person, in the flesh. We could have a sit down with some serious men, and we wouldn't even want to talk about Gifford and Chris because they're the ones that have fucked up internationally. Me and Guy haven't because they actually did things in the flesh. And Chris G's have been used. That's you're doing because you agreed to go on the videos pretending to be me. He didn't tell Nathan that because I caught you two. You and Cliff from Rivershore. And you know that drive well. And killing me you can't do. Because I'm a secret. And that's because it's a secret. And I'm not trying to get mad at anybody in governance or anything like that, but it's for Chris, because if he's found the spy room, he must have found the YouTube. And probably hasn't. And well, the spy room might have been created for me to spy on me, but the only men I could care about are the government people or the mafia. But I say government first because in my case, well, I'm pro-government. And my case is a little bit more serious than others because men want me dead, but they're just waiting for me to die. And well, who's going to entertain and or be in the center of a spy room? And nobody knows who's got one. And some people got lives and other people don't. There's a delay on this one, or did I time it well? Well, let me see. It's already been 3 hours and 15 minutes. I'm having fun. And that's important for a man to have fun. And I have fun when I got money. But if it's trying to bleed me dry, they don't want to give me sales anymore because my phone hasn't been ringing. Everybody knows that because they're watching. And Ifford, you're caught with Christopher. Maybe you two had a relationship. Maybe they did. He's in with Pat Haynes. He's a bull queer. Don't matter how you shape it up. If you rape a man, you're still a bull queer. So Valdez Savage is a bull queer, and he was in with Willie Picton, and he was in with him, and that's why he holds fear. And only the organized criminals know that. And anyway, you shape it up. I outspied him for the sovereignty of Canada, and the sovereignty of the United States isn't in question at all, because it's just they're well, they were north of all the states, and well, we got a lot more outdoors and a lot more. Well, I was gonna say something, but it refers to maybe an old joke me and my grandpa had, and it's just how I've always said. I would dare say because the family is legendary, and more legendary than some. Well, not more legendary than some to others. It depends who you are, but because of me, I'm smart, and well, I'm worthy of being spied on. But Chris G isn't. He's not smart as me, and he's still well, he's still worthy enough for Cliff to have his own spy room to spy on me when I'm on YouTube for free. And Cliff just doesn't want to give up. And you're caught by me because I conned you better. And I conned Chris and Cliff and the rest of the organized criminals on the planet, more or less, because I don't look too well because I just induced poison again or ether. But it was already cooked off, so it's not too bad. Um, well, I can't use the camera. I did spend a lot of hours up this summer. I was ground and pound. I was right there on the street. If Clifford wanted to come shoot me, why didn't he? Because if there's anybody, if there's anybody spying for space, the the fucking, the goddamn spy satellites only go around the globe so many times a day, and they can't have too many in lower orbit or too many higher in orbit. And if the fucking Vatican ever put one right above me, way out in orbit, well, they wouldn't have to use that expensive fuel, and they probably haven't burnt that on me once. And I understand that because from the movies and all that. And well, if they have, I must be one hell of a man. Maybe the Vatican did put one right above me, and it's way out in far Earth orbit, and maybe that's the one they've hacked, and they've hacked the signal coming down through the camera. Maybe they have. That would be Bye-Bye's area of expertise. And Bye-Bye, what are you doing that I don't know about? 'Cause you're kind of in Kamloops, kind of a powerful place. There's one powerful son of a bitch right here, and there's something by my ear. In God we trust, gentlemen. And that's all we got. Because it's on the $1 bill. And well, the joke's on me in regards to some, because depends who controls the internet. Because they're all fighting over my attention. Not the men in governments, but the organized criminals. And some men well they're good to me, but I'm like an organized criminal to be because I haven't organized anything in practice yet. I'm just like a neutral party, which is a positive thing for all people, because I could sit down in person somewhere down in Mexico, like in Sinaloa, but all I'd be arguing for is to keep Ifford and Guy alive, basically, because they're just not. And my dad has been framed up by Clifford, so I'd be the only reason I have to go down there is to have a good vacation, because the men wouldn't the men wouldn't want me dead, and I mean I'm a guy that would have to go there first because Ifford has pushed his weight around down there pretending to be Guy on video. Um, it's not okay. And it isn't. I understand why it's not okay, and it's not about race and anything. It's just he's framed my dad up trying to get him killed. Um, that's what he's done. I just figured it out now. And how many of these videos he sent out pretending to be geek, and he doesn't like my dad. My dad has done nothing but just be my dad, and he wasn't framed up. His fucking truck was sabotaged. I think Pat Haynes knows exactly who did it. My dad's the Teamsters, and Clifford Coughlin is not, and there's a difference there, big difference. Because my dad trucked legally for 20 years, and something happened in Quesnel. That was Owen Thompson's property, and that was because Pat Haynes probably forced the man to rat out Owen, and that man wanted to probably not rat out Owen, but he's probably forced to. Now it's Pat Haynes playing the game like he thinks he's governor, or he thinks he's government, or he thinks he's this. And I don't insult any of the governors, and I'm just talking shit about an organized criminal. And he's a powerful man before you get the word governor involved, and he's not powerful anymore. um, I'm Cody Hayden from Facebook. That's the only one from Kamloops, August 22nd, 1989. That much you can rest assured of. Anybody out there. And there's Cody J.E. Hayden. That's my social media tycoon name. And without the money. I'm working on a new thing for that. And some men are delayed and other men aren't. And with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. This is a good man. And I think I figured out something about Dwayne. He was a wrestler. And I like to just watch myself when I'm on camera just because I'd rather watch it. It makes me think I look at I don't know. I just prefer it. But I think I figured out where he got his name from, and that's a trade secret. I'm not telling him till he buys me a cup of coffee, and I'm no homo, so I wouldn't want him. I wouldn't want him to have Chris buy him a cup of coffee because that would be a problem. And and well, I know. I'm not telling anybody 'cause that's trade secret. Um, that's what they called him in wrestling. If he picked it or not, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. It's not my business. And what I think is what I think. I'm not I'm not telekinetically controlled by anybody, especially not by Mr. Bacon in California. Not a chance. And he's doing things that are strange. I mean, because Pat Haynes could be watching on that camera. But the only thing I want to know is why isn't Pat Haynes cooking dinner for me, cleaning the floor? Because the cats are fed. You know, Pat Haynes is a man of power. Well, why isn't he cooking the dinner and cleaning the floor? Because he's like a woman. And Christy maybe got him back. Maybe they fell in love. And maybe they didn't. But Pat Haynes isn't laughing. And he's not in the spiral. And he's just laughing at a good joke. Because maybe he isn't having an affair with my mother. Maybe he isn't. Because no matter how you slice it, Pat Haynes is still Pat Haynes. And he's still a powerful man. He's still got 150 behind him. And he figures he's all right. Because they need evidence on him. And I'm not a rat. And Chris G, well, he better be able to withstand an interrogation because Clifford and Chris are caught. And my mother's her own woman. And she's going to do what she wants. Everybody knows that. I'm eating yogurt with a fork because, and it is Cody and G's turn to get rich, no matter how you shape it. And Chris and Clifford are caught. And it's true. And Pat isn't with Sherry, and he's not. And that's good because my mom belongs here with Guy, and they're goose and gander, and they are. And my old man may put up a bit of a stink, but Mr. Donaldson in Valley View there, he's got a spy room too. So they all have spy rooms built for me and to spy on me and to use my intellect. And it's not okay because I'm bright. I had a dream, and I had a dream. I was just saying, it's a clever quote by a clever man, and I think it's Martin Luther King. And well, I can't say I have a dream without inciting one of his quotes because it's one of a great quote. But I'm just saying I had a dream once, and I don't know how the money, the green $20 bill, is the same color from a dream I had, the exact same. And I don't know how how Queen Elizabeth II knew that. I don't have a clue, and that scares me about her because she's a powerful woman. And well, she knew because somebody they couldn't have picked that number, that that color green. Whoever picked it, it must have been her because she knew exactly what she was doing when she picked that color. Because in my research, and my research is important to mankind because I'm not a PhD. I did pass the electrical foundation with 95 or 97%. Because I wouldn't even say that number because I don't know if my papers were marked properly, but maybe they were. I might have been the highest grade in that class, but well, maybe not because I was close. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I was. I don't know. But I got 96 or 97 or 95%. Because 96 does not represent a man in Rivershore. Not at all. Because where's he going to be when the red dots show up on his chest? And he's got a spy room. And it's not a father-son competition. It's not. Clifford took in Chris. That's how he filled his empty nest syndrome. He just meets him at a house down the road. Or he brought him right over and introduced him to his mother once. And he did that once. Sean's mother, I mean. And I was there only once as a kid with Sean, and we were just there being friends as kids. And I was there again with when I dated Atlanta, Paul Chuck, and Morgan was there, and Clifford wasn't there either time. And I don't know Clifford other than I seen him heading east. He asked me if I was okay, and I just said nothing because I don't talk to that man. 'Cause I just figured out what he's doing, and he's trying to have me and my dad killed or put in jail. And he thinks he's got the political prowess to get past the men that follow my YouTube or spy on me. And it's just, he's been caught, and he has been, and he just doesn't want to admit it. And I'm not falling on a grenade you put there if there's nobody around. And you're in a, and Kyle D still wants me dead. And well, Bacon Senior in California doesn't get to call the shots here, and he's not me, and I'm not him. And that's the bottom fucking line. He thinks he's calling shots. He isn't calling any fucking shots. He's a powerful American. Good for him. I don't give a fuck what he's trying to do. He doesn't need to help me or aid me in any fucking way. He thinks he's trying to because he has leverage over Crystal Ann's career. Well, get the bitch fired. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? I don't care about her. She tried killing me so many fucking times, and you might as well drop dead of a heart attack, Bacon, in California. You can't have me killed. He didn't want me to say that, I guarantee. Now he wants me dead again. And put the number up. How big? And however big you want. And I just did 300 million. Go ahead. Go ahead. He's not going to present that much. And if you men have spy rooms built, well, nobody else does. Only organized criminals spy. And, you know, eh, the big leagues of the spying agencies, they wouldn't have wanted to know where all these signals are coming from. No, they wouldn't have picked up on that at all. They're all stupid, stuck on stupids. They're spies. And I wrote for the spy. I wrote all that. And which one of the, I have to go through the X accounts. I still got an X connection. Why don't we go over some of my old posts? Because they all have been turned to posts. And it's X.com. It's really easy to remember. And maybe that's if he wanted to push his own band. I got a good joke for that, but I'm not trying to insult Elon Musk. He's a good man. And he's a good man. And I mean, there's nothing that he's done that I would disagree with. And I know he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I know he got a little flack from something he did online, but I mean, that was a long time ago. So I mean, that's not that's I mean that's a long time ago, and I'm not, and I don't know who has a spy room and who doesn't. So I know me and my dad don't have one. I know Clifford's caught, and he's trying to cut me out of the localized drug trade, and he has no right to. He has no right to, and he's trying to as hard as he can, and he's caught doing something that could get him and his whole family fucking killed, and he just doesn't think it's a big deal because I'm not his family. We're not related through blood. Because she took a pop in '07 and took a hit, like he got caught and he didn't rat me out then, and he probably regrets it. Well, that was then, and this is now, and you can't rat me out. So if you're a CI, and maybe you are, it's time to go in there, fella, because you got Clifford Coffin nailed to the fucking wall and in a big long con. And if you're not a fucking CI, well then, what the fuck are you doing? Leave me out of your fucking life completely, and you don't get to try and shut me down. And Nathan understands all this because he's sitting in the spy room probably, or they're listening on YouTube. Which one, whatever one it is, it's not. They can't kill me and make it better. They're fucked if they kill me. That's what I'm saying. I probably protect Morgan, Sean, and Mrs. Coughlin better than he does, and I probably do, because he's living down the road with a girlfriend, and he just leaves his wife at home, says he's at work, and that's what he does. And he's just a rich man heading east on a Harley, and she still gets half of everything if they divorce. Because I know one person's last name, I know another person's last name, I know another person's last name, and they were a happy family, maybe never, because Sean didn't like what he had to do, and he didn't like that, and only I know that, and I'm not telling anybody because he had to be that man's son, and he can't believe who his father is, and his father's powerful, but his father is in bed with Bacon in California, and they're together at the hip, and they're not getting out of this. And Bacon in California isn't his great nephew out east, and they're not the same men at all. That's probably why he's out there, because he's not part of the Cameras area. He was here maybe as a young man. I never met him. Maybe, well, he's a wrestler. Like a wrestler, like a high school, excellent high school wrestler. Jumbo said that he was going to well, he's professional. He's one of the best in BC at the time, and it's probably his older brother that fucking corrupted him too. My older brother corrupted me young. That was just with smoking weed, and we made some jokes, and my brother left me something, and it's nice to have revenge on some of the men that have my brother have my brother. Uh, well, they pushed him into suicide, and I was maybe the one that should have saved him, but Crystalline drugged him, and she did, and she's just trying to get out of that. And my mother's maybe watching this, maybe she isn't, but maybe she's trying to sleep because she would be sleeping right now. And she's watching this, and she's probably sleeping. And Dad loves her, and he misses her, and she'll be back. She's not gone forever. And Dad's not too mad at me because he can hear me while he's watching this, and there'll be a delay on that. And cats are fed and watered. They're not watered yet. But they're probably not thirsty after that. There's some water. I feel like I should let one out of the thing. I raised them. Me and the mountain lions, and they're within earshot from there. They must be. If they sit up on that ridge, I don't know. Because, oh, it's hard to know if they use the thermal or the X-ray vision, but they have access to those things. I learned it in the video games. And they is them, the man, and I was the kid. I'm not looking for a new alias because I'm not government. Some dangerous men are around, except for they drive by on the highway, and somebody somebody fucked up and caused a landslide downtown. And well, what's been said can't be unsaid. And well, I'm just hungry and haven't drinking, and can't say. Geez, that's what they say, and he would lie to his mother on that one because he was waiting for me to die, and he's got a spy room of his own, and I got your job dead to rights, pal. And people check my accounts. This is Intergalactic Rigs and Interspace underscore 123. I'm way ahead of my time, and I like to do social media. And Cody J. E. Hayden, what can I do you for? And I got a dream for Monty Hills, and I do. And it wasn't Derek Weatherhead's idea. But he's got a spy room too, and they know they're all spying on me. The women don't, not all of them except for Chrissy and Tracy. Tracy wants to see me do good. Some people are waiting on the delay, and I only eat one meal a day, and I'm down to that because I don't have a woman helping me out with meals. And Bacon in California, he wants me dead. Did you pick up a number yet? Probably shouldn't do that because he's got a headache probably, and he's been trying to figure me out for years. Why don't you drop me off $1 million cash? I won't want you dead. How about that? And he has it. And I mean, it sounds like a pretty good idea. It'd be nice for anybody. Cause he's the one that might have started the fucking spy room. Cause he's a kind of a ex-veteran and war nobody talks about, Vietnam. And I don't know why that war ended, but something tells me it's secret. And probably wasn't over a card game underground between the at the time the Viet Cong and and then the United States service branches because it was a war that was well the Pentagon doesn't create wars. They do their best to be not be involved in them at all, and they want the best for the planet. But there's not a big arms buildup like not nuclear war build up, but there's a war in Ukraine, and well, that's not really for me to talk about. And somebody gets right interested in California when I start talking like this. Well, I'm a good talker, I'm smart, but he's not talking online saying anything. I don't even know what the man looks like. He's probably in a picture somewhere, and he's still a war vet, and he's still respected. But Vietnam was in the '70s, and sometimes it's on a delay, and sometimes I time it better. And well, it doesn't matter what I do on the side because oh, I got a sore back and it hurt. Because if I want to have a meth habit on the side, I will. That's up to me. I'm a grown man. My brain is developed. I'm due with being a little stupider. And if it rots my brain away, well, it hasn't. And I'm fine. And I'm just enjoying content creation. And I shaved my head down to the wood the other day. Maybe I should have kept it longer, but this camera doesn't look as good as the other one because there's someone crashed my fucking computer. And I don't know how to open that. I don't know how to open that. I should probably figure that out because I got a disk. So I'll reboot it. So I didn't know that. And I don't know how to open that. So there's no button. So got me. Try to figure that out. Seems obvious, but nobody knows my Google searches probably. And if they do, you better watch out. Because it has something to do with the Commonwealth. And then you got to worry about, Uncle Sam. And then you got to worry about, the United States federal government. And, well, then you got to worry about veterans. And there's something about the veterans up here that they care about me. And, well, they care about me. And Chris G is a veteran's son, and he doesn't give a shit about his father. Yeah, I tried getting him to call him for years. He's basically disowned his father, which is sad. Which is a sad fucking thing because he's watching on YouTube, and he can be proud of me if he wants. And he probably is watching on YouTube, and because Chris doesn't know my father. If they've ever been seen in public, it's because if he wanted it that way, and if he just didn't get that far, because he's a smarter criminal than Ifford is, and Ifford made all the money, but now it's our turn, and it is really, and there's really no turns because everywhere you turn to, Iffy, organized criminals don't want to go to jail. I'm barely an organized criminal yet. They wouldn't let me organize. And then some men have nothing to worry about because nobody knows. And doesn't mean doesn't mean they're illegal, and nobody knows. And I'm not trying to think of anything because I'm just I'm happy to be alive, and nobody knows. And somebody had to look at me, and they know me from content creation, and I'm not Chris Gregoire. I'm not. Period. And this is gonna sound loud, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. So I wait for. I don't know how long the delay is. So I'm gonna. I don't mean to have a delay. It's just hard to do that. And it says end stream right there. So and what people don't know, they don't know. And some people. Well, I haven't reached out online, not really to reach out to anybody, but I was keeping in touch with the politicians, do crafty little like just being a smartass basically. And people know that because I was just being a smartass, and I started my YouTube or my online content creation in 2020, and I was gonna release all the videos again because I'm not trying to brainwash anybody, because it's just basically a babysitter now or something to watch because it's everyone ended.